Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the COP Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you having a fantastic Tuesday, wherever we are around the world is, and Wednesday quite yet, of course. But how are we? Hopefully, everyone's good. Hopefully, everyone's well. And of course, welcome back to a late match preview show. It is a late one, to be fair. I'm not going to turn around and say that it isn't. Normally, we do this a bit earlier, but of course, with the big Champions League games tonight, of course, I thought we'd do a later show. Of course, it'll only be about a 20-minute, half an hour match preview, of course. But again, I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Might be a bit earlier than that, to be fair, as well. And of course, let us know your guys' thoughts on, of course, PSG v Liverpool. It is a big game coming up for the Reds. Is it our toughest test of the season so far? Possibly. I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, no, Liverpool. It's going to be a walk in the park. Liverpool are not going to. Are not going to have it easy tomorrow. We're not. Look, PSG are a very top team. Luis Enrique have definitely got PSG firing this season. Considering the fact that they are undefeated so far in the French league, of course. Not so great in terms of the finishing position in the Champions League, but again, when you look at the quality in that squad, you look at their midfield, you look at everything in that team. Again, it's a top quality team, and of course, according to French media, of course, it is supposedly Liverpool's toughest test of the season anyway. But we'll talk, of course, mainly about tonight. Of course, we'll have an injury update, of course, on Cody Gakpo as well, and other things as well anyway. But big of Ash as well saying hi. Liverpool 2 strong, 3-1 for Ash as well. I think it will be a tough game tomorrow, 100%. I don't consider it an easy game whatsoever. Anyway, but look, and speaking of PSG and kicking the show off, in terms of PSG and whether or not they are Liverpool's biggest test, and I think they are. In some ways, you look at the attacking ability of PSG, you look at the front line, particularly, obviously, they've got Ousmane Dembele, who's had a very good season. Of course, Kvaratskhelia as well, who joined them in January. Of course, Liverpool wanted him. Supposedly, of course, if he did become available, we didn't end up going for him, which I think, I've said to you guys, I think maybe Liverpool in an ideal world would have gone for him. But of course, obviously, when you have Cody Gakpo, when you have Luis Diaz, there just isn't any room at the present moment in time anyway. But again, looking at their season so far, and looking at just the overall, look at PSG, again, certainly in the French league, 24 games played, 19 games won, 5 drawn, a plus 43 on goal difference, which is pretty good going, to be fair. And when you actually look at their squad, like I said, again, they've got top quality everywhere. Again, defense. Again, that is probably one of their weak points. Is probably defense because, again, an aging Marquinhos. Yes, you've got Hakimi there, but we know how Hakimi likes to get forwards. Could that be an area where Liverpool look to hit? Of course, obviously they got Nuno Mendes, Donnarumma as well. I don't think is the best goalkeeper that's out there. Personally, I've always felt that Donnarumma, you can get a Donnarumma a little bit, I would say, but again, like the forward line, especially the midfield, you've got Fabian Ruiz, you've got Zaire Emery, you've got João Neves, like that midfield three is such a good midfield. And then you've got, of course, the front line. You've got Kvaratskhelia, you've got Dembele, you've got Barcola, you've got Ramos, you've got, again, they are very well stacked in those areas. And again, you can see by the French league alone, they've absolutely teared it up, even though, again, that is expected because, again, it is the French league. It is, of course, PSG, but you look at, again, them having to beat Brest in the previous round of the Champions League, they absolutely battered them, didn't they? Looking at it, 10-0 aggregate score. Again, like for me, I think that's a huge statement, really, because again, I think you look at PSG, certainly the first half against Manchester City, I think it was very much back and forth, but that second half they come out a completely different team and absolutely battered them, didn't they? Towards the end of the game, I think they come back and won 4-2, didn't they? Towards the end, looking at it now, of course, Grealish and Haaland making City 2-0, and then of course completely fell apart like Manchester City have done a few times this season, of course. But I think for us, the main thing again is winning the midfield battle. I think that'll be the crucial part of the game for me. I think that's the main aim and the main target tomorrow is concentrating on the midfield battle. I've also forgot Vitinha as well. Vitinha is such a good midfielder for PSG. But I think that is the main battle again tomorrow. Similar how we've spoken about the Manchester City game, and like we've spoken about other games this season where Liverpool, if they win the midfield battle, they'll go on and win the game. And I feel like again that's something very similar where again they normally press in a three back. Obviously it goes into a four, but it's kind of like a 3-1 3-4. It's like a 3-1-4-2 really, and how they press and how they end up causing problems for a team with their counter pressing as well, which I think that is going to be a problem for Liverpool. Obviously, particularly we know how Liverpool like to play from the back in terms of getting the ball with Ali, Ibu, Verge as well, and obviously distributing it out to those as well. But I do think in saying that though as well, like Liverpool, certainly in terms of long balls, we've seen in games where teams try and pressure us, we'll try and ping it to Mo Salah, we'll try and ping it to Luis Diaz. And I think maybe as well, could we potentially see Liverpool playing a similar formation like we did against Manchester City, like we did against Aston Villa, certainly away from home. I feel like we could end up seeing that again. Obviously, Dom Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones playing as 2 10s. That could really be an interesting point to Liverpool, and obviously trying to break down PSG as well, and trying to contain the pressure really of getting them on the front foot and them coming at us so much as well. Because I think again you can obviously get at PSG. Plenty of teams have done it this season, certainly in the Champions League as well. But again, looking at it, they've the last time PSG lost was against Bayern Munich back in November as well. So again, even looking at their games now, they lost 2-0 to Arsenal. I know they were missing key players, but again, losing 2-0 to Arsenal, losing 2-1 to Atletico Madrid, losing 1-0 to Bayern Munich. Again, it's just those odd occasions where they've ended up losing. But apart from that, again, I think they've been unbeaten now for 22 games in all competitions. So it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. It's definitely going to be one where Liverpool have to be at their best. If we're not at our best, we'll easily lose the game as well. But again, look, we are talking about the best team in Europe this season in Liverpool. Liverpool have been clearly the best team in Europe. And now it's time to show PSG and the rest of Europe that we can still be the best team in Europe going ahead, of course, because when you actually look at probably the rest of the brackets, in terms of games, I know obviously you've got Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid that just played just now. That was a really, really good game. But you've also got, again, Atletico Madrid, sorry. You've got Bayer Leverkusen against Bayern Munich. And you look at PSG Liverpool, and considering Liverpool won the Champions League group stage, you would consider, maybe Liverpool might get like a really good tie in terms of, getting potentially like a Barcelona did, got Benfica, and we didn't get that, unfortunately. We ended up getting PSG. But again, you look at the last time we played PSG in the Champions League, Liverpool went on and won the Champions League. Of course, like the last time Liverpool played PSG, does my hair go weird? Obviously, the last time we played PSG in the Champions League was in 2018. And of course, a lot has changed since 2018 in the Champions League, of course. So, look, I'm very much in the case of, I think we can get at this PSG team. I think all the media has been like, look how amazing PSG are. And look, I'm going to give them their flowers. They do look like a very good team. But I just feel like Liverpool this season have been on another level, especially us having a break as well. In between this game, obviously no FA Cup weekend as well for us. So that's been a massive impact, I think, for Liverpool. I think Arne Slot spoke about it, didn't he, in the press conference, speaking about like how, it's unusual to have a gap in between Champions League games, which again, look at that, will benefit Liverpool, long term in terms of this game. Obviously, Southampton on the weekend, and then PSG again, and the week after. But again, we have to be on it from minute one, because if we have a slow start, like we have at times this season, again, that we will get punished. But I hope Liverpool do react, and hopefully we do start the game tomorrow on the front foot, which will be the hopeful dream, of course. Anyway, but talking about, like I said, in terms of fitness news, obviously Cody Gakpo wasn't a part of team training today. If you guys saw the short that was on the channel a bit earlier on, of course, Cody Gakpo is fit technically. Again, Arne Slot did speak about it, saying again it is 50-50 at the present moment in time, whether or not he will play. He did suffer a bit of a setback yesterday due to pain that he did get in his, I think it was in his leg as well, which hopefully will be assessed, and I think he'll be on the bench tomorrow. I don't think, again, you have to risk him for this game, even though, again, we would have loved to have probably started him against PSG, but again, there's no need to risk, because look, we've got important games coming up. Southampton on the weekend. Again, PSG in a week's time. There will be games where Cody Gakpo will be called upon, realistically, won't he? But apart from that, again, Arne Slot in the press conference speaking highly in terms of PSG and their capabilities, and of course, making a few jokes in the press conference, of course. Anyway, but starting 11 predictions for me. I think of course, we'll go strong. I think we'll go Alisson in goal. I think we'll go Trent at right back, Ibu Konate, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson. I think we end up playing Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and Dom Szoboszlai. And then the front three, what do you do with the front three? I think you could get in behind this PSG team. Absolutely, you could. But I do think we might end up going with the double tens again. I'm not too sure. But I would probably go for Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez. I'd like to see Darwin Núñez have a go at this PSG defence. I think you can get at them. And Mo Salah, obviously, would be Mo. But if it's not Darwin Núñez, I think it will be Curtis Jones. I think that's the only debate at the minute, whether or not Liverpool don't play with a striker again. With the starting 11, again, obviously, I know Tarendo was in the press conference in terms of the player, which again I think did cause a little bit of conversation of maybe Tarendo's playing, but I do think it will be Ryan Gravenberch and McAllister. I think that's our best double pivot, and obviously Dom Szoboszlai as well. But I think that is the question: will it be the 2 10s? Will it be, will we play with a striker? Again, I do think we will play with a striker, but of course, we'll have to wait and see for tomorrow. But again, I do think that will be the case, because there is talk with PSG that they're going to try and play 4 strikers or 2 or 4 attackers tomorrow, which will be interesting if they try and do that, because I think they'll get absolutely battered if they do end up trying that, to be fair. But look, we'll have to wait and see till tomorrow. But I'm feeling confident. Why wouldn't we? Look, we're top of the Premier League at the minute. We finished top of the Champions League. We've only realistically lost 1 game this season. I know, obviously, Plymouth and obviously PSV, but still, Liverpool, the games where we've been in our main 11, we've only lost 1 game. And I think, again, we will be better than PSG tomorrow, in my opinion, anyway. But I am going to go 2-1 Liverpool. I think it will be close. I don't think we're going to, I don't think it's going to be like 4-1, 5-1, for example. I think it'll be close game, of course. But obviously, the main important thing tomorrow will be not to lose. That is the main important thing for Liverpool, is just no defeat. Go back to Anfield. And again, I think we can absolutely destroy them at Anfield, under the lights in a European night. I think, look, that will be the perfect way as well to get through. And then obviously play the winner of Aston Villa and Club Brugge as well, which, to be fair, Villa are already 3-1 up, aren't they, in their road to get through to the Champions League anyway. But like I said, I think 2-1 Liverpool. For me, I think goal scorers will be Mo Salah and Darwin Núñez. I'm then going to go for them, Dembele or Kvaratskhelia as well. To be fair, I am pretty pretty worried about them two going at Trent and Robbo. To be fair, anyway. But big up Carl as well, saying hello. Arsenal aren't through. They are, to be fair. 1-1 Salah as well as Carl as well. I wouldn't mind a draw tomorrow. I think you can get away with it. Really. We're not gonna suffer too much off of that. But again, just don't lose. I don't want to be going to coming back and the thing in Anfield in terms of, again, us not being us being available anyway. But look, at the end of the day, it is probably the toughest tie the Liverpool could have got, in terms of teams. But at the end of the day, look, we had to beat PSG, we had to beat Bayern Munich, we had to beat these types of teams. You have to beat these types of teams to win the Champions League. As well. And I think looking at our side of the group, as well, looking at our side of the draw, obviously, if we get through to the final, we've got to beat, Villa or Bruges, we've got to beat PSG first. And then, we've either got to beat Arsenal or Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, really. And then when you look at that, again, if Liverpool do get to that final, I think we'll win the Champions League. But again, if we were to get to the final, that would be some good going as well, comparing to, again, the other side of the group, which, to be fair, is difficult as well. But I think our side of the group is definitely harder than the other side, to be fair, which, again, probably finishing second now might have been the best option, really, anyway. But no, I'm going 2 on Liverpool. Feel confident going in. Hopefully you guys are confident as well, because I think 100% we can go there and win. But again, it will be a tough place, but we've gone to tough places this season, gained, vital points. Well, obviously it's not points now, but you guys know what I mean. You're going away to Arsenal, drawing, beating City away. Again, it is huge results. Beating Madrid in Champions League already this season. Again, it's huge, really. And hopefully, it can continue, and I do think it will continue as well. But of course, we'd have to wait and see till tomorrow. Anyway, but I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. It was only a short match preview. We should have realistically done it earlier, so apologies for that. But yeah. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Of course, tomorrow will be post-match reaction to the game anyway. Of course, we'll be like 10 o'clock tomorrow. That we will be live, of course. But again, make sure you are hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. One thing I should say as well before we do shoot off is thank you to you guys as well. We did hit today 1.9k on YouTube, so we are officially, I think, like 98 people away from 2k. So again, that would be great if we can get there for the end of the season. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content, enjoy me rambling on about the Reds anyway. And of course, look, let me know your guys' thoughts, of course, on other things we could do on the channel. Of course, would you guys like to come on the shows and so on as well, or other bits and pieces as well if you are watching on the replay anyway. But I will leave it there for tonight anyway. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your days anyway. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode, and hopefully Liverpool beating PSG away from home anyway. But again, let me know your score predictions in the comments. Let me know your start 11 predictions as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the post-match reaction. But until next time, that'll be it from me. I've been Connor from the COP Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.